Great morning, everybody. What a beautiful day we have in Northwest Arkansas. A little overcast right now, but about to finish up my morning walk. It is March 13th, 2024, and today is an anniversary of such, one that I never thought I would celebrate. You'll recall Friday, March 13th of 2020 goes down as one of the worst days of my life, and I know it was a day of total chaos for many. I'll never forget sitting at Springdale Country Club. We were supposed to have 50 people going to Oaklawn Racetrack on a charter bus down and back for the day, and because of what was already starting to happen, we postponed that trip and just sat at the country club and watched the races from there. And about 12:30 in the afternoon, the TV screen just started scrolling with the breaking news and the closures. And eventually we would shut down. And I'll never forget my phone ringing that day nonstop. And it was cancellation after cancellation after cancellation. You see, when you start a business, people tell you that about 80% of businesses, it's some number like that, don't make it after 5 years. And I started my business in 2015, doing golf packages for the Arkansas and Missouri Golf Trail, Panhandle of Florida. Eventually got into Masters trips and started doing incentives, and 2020 was year 5. It had been a struggle all the way through. But I begged my wife to hold on for one more year. Let's give it year 5. Let's see what happens, because as you remember all the crazy 2020 sayings, right? The vision is perfect, yada, yada, yada. I could see it coming, I thought. 2020 is going to happen, and it was. Until Friday, March 13th, when it all came crashing down. We lost almost $2 million in total revenue as a company that day. I didn't know what I would do. Had no idea. So I was just like the rest of the world, a little bit numb. But a good friend of mine take me back to November of 2019, and a good friend of mine, Tim Rowe, had been speaking into my life and saying, Brad, you need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast. And again, this is 2019. Listen, folks, I was doing Zoom before Zoom became a 4-letter word. And so having meetings on Zoom and doing that, he said, man, you need to start a podcast. I'm telling you, you're going to grow your following. It's better than any email list you've ever got. Do a podcast. But I'm not a podcast guy. No offense, but I don't listen to your podcast. My ADD just doesn't handle it. I don't watch movies. I don't listen to podcasts. That's just the life of Brad Norwood. Back to Friday, March 13th, and I was numb. But Tim Rowe's words struck and stuck in my mind. It was the only thing I knew to do. So just a week later, I would start Bucket List Living with Brad Norwood, the podcast. And let me tell you, I had tens of listeners. But I didn't care, because it was the thing I had to do to keep going. And in bringing this thing full circle, March 13th of 2024, I walked today a walk of gratitude. Because Tim Rowe, you encouraged me to do a podcast that introduced me to people that I would not have met otherwise. Hal Henson was my first guest, a dear friend of mine, serial entrepreneur. And I asked you, man, will you just give me one chance? I think I'm going to start this thing. So we did. We did episode 1. Episode 2 got huge. You've all heard of Jesse Cole. Jesse, I can't thank you enough for the encouragement you've put into my life. Not only did he do my podcast and let me record during a time of shutdown, in 2023, when the Savannah Bananas started their Banana Ball World Tour, they came to Tulsa, Oklahoma, just an hour and a half from me. And Jesse was able to get me tickets, and in the middle of the game, my phone rang. And it was Jesse Cole. And he said, Brad, bring your family down to the dugout. And for inning 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we got to sit in the Savannah Bananas dugout, man. What a life-changing experience, not only for me, but for my family, my kids. My daughter still talks about it to this day. Jesse, thank you. My good friend Jimmy Dykes was episode number 3. And you notice I introduced this video with great morning. I learned that from friend Stuart Powell. And I say great morning now because Stuart says it, and because Jimmy says, is your good enough good enough? So I always like to say great morning when I can, because when you look back, and there are no bad days. Your worst days are somebody's best. The podcast kept going, and I'd already known the guy. Dale Dupree with the Sales Rebellion. You single-handedly revamped my business. You're the one that encouraged me to crumple up letters during a time when nobody was walking into offices, to leave a crumpled letter on someone's desk, to send them a video email and say it's time that you do a trip. And I signed my first deal post-COVID because of those methods. I can't thank you enough. You know that, brother. Introduced Jeff Underwood. It was his birthday. I'll never forget it. January 26th of 2021. He comes on the podcast. It's his birthday, and I sent him birthday hats thanks to Dale Dupree's ideas. I thought he'll never put that on. And he got on the screen. He was in a birthday hat. I was in a birthday hat. We formed a connection that led me, see that hat, to EPSG. Jeff, I can't thank you enough for putting me in that position. Last, not least, is a guy we all know and love. And fortunately, I've come to know very well. Michael Ray, the Smile Guy from Louisville, Kentucky. Smile Project Louisville. Brother, you know I love you. We're going to make somebody smile today. So check your damn Venmo. I want you to make it happen. I appreciate all you've done for me, the encouragement that you pour into me daily. I couldn't be here today in 2024 without the support of my family, the people I've mentioned, and others, several others. We lost almost $2 million in total revenue that day. And I can tell you that in 2023, we had the record year that we thought we were going to have in 2020. 2024 looks to be the same. And I also qualified for optics with EPSG because I've taken that realm and created another revenue stream for myself. The point of all that is to say this. Sometimes God's greatest blessings are those that bring you to your knees. Don't ever give up. There were times that I just wanted to quit, go do something else. In fact, I did for a little bit. Ben Cruz, thank you at 4Up. By the way, if you're a golf professional, golf manager, club manager, go check out 4up.com, FOREUP.com. Ben Cruz, thank you for pouring into my life at that time when I needed it most. But just when I thought I needed something else, I wanted to quit. And Isaiah 41:10 summarized says, have faith and not fear. And that's been our family's motto since 2008. Faith carried me through. And here we are today. A blessed day in 2024, the 4-year anniversary of one of the worst days that I've ever lived through. And you too, probably. But I want to encourage you today, don't ever give up. As Jimmy Valvano said, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Have a great day. Thank all of you for everything you've done in my life. Have a great day, and remember, God gave it to you.